Special education was designed to ensure that students with disabilities are provided with an environment that allows them to be educated effectively. It is according to healthofchildren.org. It was designed to develop children with disabilities to grow upon themselves. Special education promotes an assurance that a child will treated fair such like other students. Inclusive education seen as a process of addressing and responding to the diversity of needs of all learners with increasing participation in learning, culture and communities, and seducing exclusion from education and from within education. It is according to UNESCO.org. In this kind of education, students with disabilities could share an environment to those normal students with a fair look and treated nice by not just students, but also teachers. We might see them as a big man with a character of a child, but we could not judge them by their talents as well as their intelligence. This true education could build them as good well-being and will develop their skills and be not discriminated. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Special and inclusive education. Around the world, children are excluded from schools where they belong because of disability, race, language, religion, gender, and poverty. But every child has the right to be supported by their parents and community to grow, learn, and develop in the early years, and to go to school and be welcomed and included by teachers and peers alike. Inclusive education is about looking at the ways our schools, classrooms, programs, and lessons are designed so that all children can participate and learn. Inclusion is also about finding different ways of teaching so that classrooms actively involve all children. It also means finding ways to develop friendships, relationships, and mutual respect between all children and between children and teachers in the schools. Being included is not something that a child must be ready for. All children are at all times ready to attend regular schools and classrooms. Special education is the practice of educating students in a way that addresses their individual differences and special needs. Ideally, this process involves the individually planned and systematically monitored arrangement of teaching procedures, adapted equipment materials, and accessible settings. These interventions are designed to help individuals with special needs to become independent and successful in school and in their community, which may not be available if the student were only given access to typical classroom education. Inclusive and special education are based on different philosophies and provide alternative views of education for children with special educational needs and disabilities. They are increasingly regarded as diametrically opposed in their approaches. Thank you.
A classroom should be a place where mistake is not to be feared, but viewed as a learning experience. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Antoinette Borrero from BSED Filipino 2B. Over the years, inclusive education have been significant to the lives of children with special needs. Through this system, they have the opportunity to be part of the community. They gain friends, was able to socialize, learn, and play together with different and diverse students inside a single classroom. A system called special education is tailored to help kids with disabilities to learn and give them the resources they need to make progress in school. They are considered as special who have unique abilities and talents. The 2020 Global Education Monitoring Report on Inclusion and Education believes that education is strongest when it embraces diversity. In simple words, to attain their full development, there is a need for inclusion. Learners should not have to adapt to the system, but instead, education system should adapt to their needs. In inclusive, it's, in inclusive setting, children have different learning speeds and needs. They need curricula that are flexible, creative, and relevant. Teachers must be given the tools and proper training to achieve the vision. Everyone is different and everyone is unique. Inclusion and education requires a change in mindset in society so that education for all means education for everyone without exception. Thank you.
Bar.
A pleasant afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pearl Angel Escobar, and today I will speak about special education and inclusive education. Education system in the context of special and inclusive education. The real deal of this education possibility. Education is a fundamental right of every person. No one should be deprived of it as it was written in the Constitution. However, it introduces the other way around. Education seems to be a luxury for some people under marginalized groups or even learners who need a special teaching effort. Moreover, people who happen to have special needs seem to carry a lot of burden by the conflicting and flawed education system, putting them an extra hardship in their learning experience. Special education is the application of providing lessons and support students with disabilities or learning difficulties. It is designed to be needs-based and individualized, which means that every student in a special education will have a different plan depending on their needs, abilities, and goals. Inclusive education, on the other hand, is the practice of educating students with disabilities alongside their peers with a environment to allow each the opportunity to reach their potential. There is no better way to make everyone feel included than to create a positive learning environment, one where learners of all abilities can feel comfortable and flourish. Thank you, Mom.
Magdagani.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. Things change, people change. Change is the one of immutable law of nature, exacting its toll on people's lives. We take them big, small, rich, poor, gifted, exceptional, abused, confident, homeless, rude, and brilliant. We take them all, everyone. And that is why it is not a business. It is a school. A school where we attain formal education, which make us change. Effective schools are educationally and socially inclusive schools. Special education program is designed primarily with a focus on designing instructions to meet the unique needs of a child with intellectual disabilities. The child development and achievement is positively associated with teacher effectiveness and persistency in dealing with their students. The teachers is also become special because they need to adapt themselves with different trainings, seminars, and workshops to be able to be more effective in dealing students with special mental needs. While inclusive education means that all students attend and are welcomed by their neighborhood schools in age appropriate regular classes and are supported to learn, contribute, and participate in all aspects of life in school. It is all about how to develop and design our school, classroom, program, and activities so that all students learn and participate together. Professional development of a teacher help boost the achievement of students with disabilities and provide evidence on the efficiency of special education program and in positive way with it, which include but it is not limited to children with disabilities. It aims at maximizing participating of all children irrespective of race, gender, language, background, and ability in one national education system based on mainstream policies and practices that are inclusive and child-centered. The key challenge of inclusive and special education is to ensure that education is for all. That's what we all think.
Go. You're unmute, girl.
Every student can learn, just not on the same day or in the same way, by George Evans. Good afternoon, everyone. I am going to be speaking to you today about special education and inclusive education. outcomes for each student may be very different. It's all about the individual child and giving them resources they need to make succeed. We can say that persons with disabilities always experiences challenges. We should not bully them and treat them badly because even we who do not have disabilities also experience sufferings in our lives. A supportive environment can be the best factor in the education of children with disabilities. That is why inclusive education is important. So, what exactly is inclusive education and what are its benefits? Inclusive education is education that includes everyone, with non disabled and disabled students learning together in a class. It is a way of thinking about how to be creative to make every school a place where all children can participate, regardless of their age, status in life, and conditions. Its benefits are all children receives appropriate and equal educational programs and give students to find ways to develop friendships and mutual respect between them and teachers. Inclusive education will be successful if we are looking at all children at what they can do rather than what they cannot do. We just need to better understand what their condition is and what their needs are.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Krista Mason Dean from BSED Filipino 2E, and today I'm going to talk about special and inclusive education. Education plays a significant role in every person's life. It helps build character, opinion, and intellect. But what about special, but what about students with special needs? According to UNICEF 27, inclusive education or inclusion is an educational system that includes and accepts all students regardless of their individual difference. Each of us will have our ideas and ways we go about doing things regardless of how we are educated. But at the end of the day, our true intellect lies in the education we had and continue to gain throughout our entire life. Inclusive education is a way for children with learning disabilities to give them the opportunity to get quality education in line with their unique needs. It enables every student to gain knowledge, share their skills and abilities to reach their full potential. With the help of skilled teacher, they more become socially competent and feel less isolated. They can interact and find new friends and together they learn. We've seen that our learners with disabilities coupled with good and effective instruction, they quickly learn academic skills and they're all participating in engaging classroom and school activities. Yes, we can say that they cannot do what normal people are supposed to do. We are unique and different, but with their special needs, they also have special talents and abilities that normal people can't do. Many of the special students criticize because of their different conditions, but with the help of their parents and teachers, the disabled learn to be able. Special education was established to help students with disabilities and as a learner too, we need to give respect to everyone with or without disability because everyone has the right to be respected. Let us help our fellow learner and not put them down. Our special students need us to support them so that they will become more competent when they are facing any challenges as they coping judgment with their impairments. Thank you.
Uhilia, Kilitar,
Ma'am, the best investment. A pleasant day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Annalisa Kilitar, BSED Filipino, and today I'm going to shed some light on two concepts that used to be used interchangeably, though interrelated but clearly differ in some ways: special education and inclusive education. Inclusive education aims to integrate students with disabilities into flexible learning environment in order to provide them with high quality education that maximizes their potential for holistic development. Special education, on the other hand, is instruction that's specifically tailored to a child with disability unique needs. It is specifically designed to meet the specific needs of each child. Special education's growth in the Philippines has been relatively well supported over the years by different sectors of society. Both the public and private sectors have increased their awareness of the importance of providing equal opportunity for children with special needs. One positive development is the implementation of Republic Act 7277, also known as Magna Carta for Disabled Persons, which provide for disabled persons rehabilitation, self-development, and self-reliance as well as their integration into mainstream society. To assist in the effective delivery of special education services across the country, the Department of Education has directed all school divisions to establish special education
Okay,
centers.
Annalisa, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Galing ka naman lang. Absalon, Absalon.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Janet Absalon, and I'm going to discuss about special education and inclusive education. What comes to your mind when you hear the word special education? We associate special educations like education for people with disabilities. It is a kind of education of children who differ socially, mentally, or physically from the average to such an extent that they require modifications of usual school practices. They are designed to ensure that students with disabilities are provided with an environment that allows them to be educated effectively. Every child has the right to the same opportunities as others, regardless of difficulties they face. Special education of great importance for children with learning disabilities because it gives them the opportunity to get quality education in line with their unique needs. Special education enables every student to gain a high level of independence and reach their full potential.
Okay, Iyama.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to be here today to perceive your obligation to advise the beverages regarding individuals with incapacities and to further developing learning for each youngster. Fruitful consideration implies that schools are available as far as correspondence, incorporating communication through signing conditions with marking companions and assets that framework is actually open. That there is admittance with to correspondence advances and that instructors can utilize elective method of teaching. Schools additionally should be set up with educators who are ready and furnished with the materials and abilities they need to guarantee they are arriving at youngsters with different learning styles, incorporating kids with exceptional necessities. Surely, this is an educate endeavor and not without cost. However, it is undeniably more key and financially savvy to plan materials trainings, and framework to be comprehensive from the beginning, rather than attempting to adjust and embed inclusivity into completed products. It is essential to take note of that the advantages of more comprehensive training will help individuals with incapacities, including them fostering their ability and enabling them to amplify their own turn of events. As indicated by other experts, special
Thank
scoring.
you, Cherry. Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Involtorio. Involtorio. Mura mangyapon. Involtorio. Maria
Dali lang
Rosario.
po, ma'am.
Ay, ina pa gani yung number ka dyan, girl.
Special education is practice of providing individual instruction and support to students with disabilities or learning difficulties. It is designed to be
based and individualized, which means that every student in special education will have a different plan depending on their needs, abilities, and goals. This field has historically been associated with segregated schools or homeschooling, which were the options for students with disabilities before integration became a practice. For the past few decades, school in India has integrated students with disability, typically mild to moderate in mainstream schools to which special ed has become an essential requirement within those schools. The purpose of special ed is to provide support to students with disabilities and is to teachers.
Okay, thank you, Rosario. Christy, Sarah, mura magyapon, Ondrado, Ondrado, Raman, Rene Tuyor, iba ko lang. Wara. Sino pang wara?
Iskera, ma'am.
Skera. Uy, white shatot. Nervyos ka? Go!
The best sort of education is not concerned with any ideology. Nevertheless, it may promise a future utopia. It is not based on any system, however carefully thought out. Neither it is a means of conditioning the individual in some special manner, nor on shaping the child according to some idealistic pattern. But the highest function of education is to bring about an integrated individual who is capable of living life as a whole with rights to inclusive quality education. Yet tens of millions of children with special needs are being left behind because of their apparent difficulties. This is a problem that has to be changed by now. Our children with special needs may not be as educated as they could possibly be in coming times. The 1990 World Conference on Education for All focused attention on a much broader range of children with disabilities who may be excluded from or marginalized within the education system. This conference declared the inclusive education is regarded as the only means to achieve the goal of education for all. However, the aspect of education for all is not effectively implemented despite of having policies and legal framework that advocate education for all, especially in the implementation of SPED classes. As Henry Ford once said, coming together is a beginning, working together is a progress, working together is a success. From here, the concept of inclusive education, including students with
Thank you, Jasmine. Yes, Ondrado. Go.
Role of special education teachers in inclusive classrooms. For inclusion to show positive benefits, the learning environment and instructional models must be carefully established to provide strong learning opportunities for all students. Special education and general education teachers must have mutual respect and open minds towards the philosophy of inclusion, as well as strong administrative support and knowledge of how to meet the needs of students with disabilities. The involvement of special education teachers is crucial to the success of a combined learning environment in a number of areas. Special education, also called special needs education, the education of children who differ socially, mentally, or physically. Inclusive education means all children in the same classroom in the same school. Contribution of students of all backgrounds bring to the classroom and allow diverse groups to grow side by side to benefit of all. Thank you, ma'am. That's all.
Enterola. Karina girl. Enterola.
Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it is stupid, said Albert Einstein. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Maria J. Henterola, and today I would like to present to you my informative speech about special education and inclusive education. The term disability does not imply incapacity. In today's world, a high school diploma is required. Yet, many kids with special needs still face obstacles obtaining one. Did you know that in the article Special Education in 2000, Coach claims that before the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act was implemented, 1.7 million impaired children were unable to attend public schools. Special education is a type of instruction that is specifically tailored to meet the requirements of kids who are eligible for special education services. Inclusion, on the other hand, is a manner of thinking and acting that promotes universal acceptance and a sense of belonging for all students. Inclusion is more than simply a term for students with special needs. It is a mindset and strategy that values diversity and individuals' differences while promoting equal opportunity for all students. The adoption of golden rule and declaration of individual dignity accelerated the many initiatives already underway in the country. The classroom environment has a significant impact on a students' overall education, future educational experiences, and chances of graduating and continuing their education. In generalization, both of these approaches should feed into each other in an inclusive school. Students with disability will benefit from special education programs because they will be able to develop the skills needed to access the mainstream curriculum while also receiving the necessary support, adjustments, and modifications. While special educators bear the brunt of the responsibility for special education, all teachers as well as the entire school community bear the brunt of the responsibility for inclusive education. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Wala rin. May nabilin pagi.
Ma'am, tapos yung shuttle, ma'am.